and welcome back. So today we are sharing my final thoughts of the Realm of Magic game pack. So we've got a build going in the background. I'm reluctant to say speed build because I haven't built it yet, and I'm not sure how fast it'll be, because if I ramble a lot, it's going to be a lot slower. So I apologize. I'm probably going to ramble a lot. I wrote out my notes this morning for my final thoughts, and I've got like 1,000 words as per usual with my final thoughts videos. So today we are talking about what I think of the Realm of Magic game pack. So I'm going to start off by saying there's two perspectives to look at this pack. And I played from the perspective that The Sims 4 is a sandbox game. And I made a story and played it as a sandbox game, which means you need to make your own story and entertain yourself. It's meant to, EA just gives us the tools to make a slightly different story. And I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this pack, but I know a lot of people didn't, because I'm assuming they rushed through the content and they wanted to be entertained for hours and hours. And that's not how sandbox games works. That's how RPGs work. You follow the story. Maybe you should try like Outer Worlds or something, or I don't know, any other new RPGs or platformers or something else. Try something else if you're looking for a game that has a story with tons of content that keeps you entertained for hours. Try something like that. I haven't played those, but I haven't played Outer Worlds, but that's just kind of what I'm saying. So I just wanted to put that out there. I played it from the perspective that the game is a sandbox and you're meant to entertain yourself. You're not meant to, But I did also play through, rushing through myself in one of my saves. I didn't record it, but I did do that. And I can see why people, if they played like that, would be disappointed, because I finished it in a couple of hours. So, but this is episode 31. This is, we've got so much Realm of Magic content. I was having so much fun with this save. And so I just kind of wanted to put that out there, that The Sims is a sandbox game, and, EA's just giving you a new bucket to build a new sandcastle. But it's up to you to build that sandcastle. You can't just look at the bucket and be like, this is a bucket. There's nothing I can do with it. I'm bored of this bucket. That's kind of how people treat packs at the moment. So I just kind of wanted to point that out, because I feel like I'm one of the few Simmers who really enjoyed this pack. Certainly one of the few YouTubers. Anyways, I don't know. That's me. But let's jump on in. I've already rambled way too long. It's definitely not a speed build. I'm so sorry. So as always, I'm going to start with CreateASim. And I really like the CreateASim stuff. I thought they were really cute. I liked the female clothes. I wasn't too keen on some of them though. I didn't like the ones that were all like belts and leathery stuff. Same with the male stuff. I wasn't too fond of that, but they're not bad clothes, and I might use them if I had a gothic sim, but I don't really have that many, so it wasn't that useful to me, but it was still a nice outfit, so just putting that out there. I did have a couple complaints with the other stuff though. So I thought some of the male clothes did look a bit alpha-ish, like they looked like Alpha CC. I was like, what? I don't have Alpha CC in my game. Why is this here? And so, but I don't know. They were nice outfits. Like, don't get me wrong, they were cute outfits, but they just looked a little bit too alpha for my taste, which is kind of weird because it's a Maxis texture. So it's kind of like you're crossing the lines. Are you now Maxis Mitch, EA? Oh my god, I always mess that up. Maxis Mix. I can say it sometimes, probably. Not really. Which, if you don't know what that is, on Tumblr, someone made like a tag for like Simmers who use, Alpha and Maxis Match, so it's whatever. But anyways, and I was also kind of disappointed we didn't get anything for kids and toddlers, but that just seems to be the trend lately. I imagine there's going to be another pack with University where we don't get anything for kids and toddlers, so boo. I don't know. They could have converted some of the hairs. They could have done something cute. I don't know. I would have liked to see something like that or done something similar. But that's okay, I guess. Whatever. And so, I don't know. But that's pretty much it for the game pack. Like, Yeah, that's all it. That's it for CreateASim. There's not too much else to say. I was a bit disappointed about the alpha stuff, but overall they're good. It's good clothes. I'm happy. There's no like texture issues. There's no clipping issues. Like, I'm a happy camper. So now on to build mode. I liked build mode too. This is probably the most positive pack review I've had so far. Normally I'm like, I don't like it. But no, it's not that I dislike the other packs. It's just that, like, I don't know. I found more issues with those packs than I did this pack, so I don't know. But I really liked the build mode stuff. I thought it was really cute. They kind of went for a theme. They stuck to it. It was all good. A couple things I noticed. I liked that the windows tiled for some of them. I also liked that they were colorful and pretty and that the doors matched them with the ones with the glass. My only kind of complaint here is that it's kind of awkward, but like, they had a really rustic style, and that's what I'm saying. They went for a theme and it worked. But then there's a couple items in there where it's like, why is this here? Like, you've only, like, the toilet, the shower, the sink, and the fences. They look like they were meant to be used in Get Famous, and they couldn't quite fit them in Get Famous, so they just shoved them in the next best thing. And so they don't quite, like, they've got the same kind of color theme as Get Famous, which is really weird. Like, I'd more pick them for Get Famous stuff. Like, you know, that kind of white and gold that they had going in Get Famous, like, it seemed very much like that. And so I thought that was a bit weird, but that's okay. Like, they're nice items, but they just seem like really odd, and I don't think you could use them in any builds if you didn't have Get Famous, because like, they don't really match very well. I don't know, that's just my opinion. I don't know, but let me know your thoughts on that. What do you guys think? Do you think they just forgot to include them in Get Famous and were like, stuff it, we'll put it in a different pack if we're a bit short on items? Because that's kind of how it feels like to me. And this isn't, excuse me, specifically related to the Get Famous, oh my god, the Realm of Magic pack, but I did want to mention it because it's kind of a complaint for me, but it's a complaint overall, not specific to Realm of Magic. So with the new bb.show lived edit objects cheat, and you can place world items now, it's really cool. And I just kind of noticed this because some of the assets were kind of reused in Glimmer Brook. So in Glimmer Brook, they use some trees that come from Outdoor Retreat and Jungle Adventure. And they're really nice trees. And if you have Realm of Magic and you use this cheat, you can put down these trees. And you don't have to have Jungle Adventure or Outdoor Retreat. And so it's kind of a little bit unfair, I think, to simmers who have purchased the other packs and now they can get stuff. Like, it's a kind of global issue because obviously they're going to reuse assets, and up till now we couldn't use these assets that they were putting in the world, but you know, they've used assets from other packs they've made, and so now it's like, oh yeah, now you don't have to buy Jungle Adventure to get that tree. You can just buy Realm of Magic because you prefer to have witches over a jungle, which is fair. I don't know. So I just wanted to point that out, that I think it's a little unfair, but it's not actually Realm of Magic's fault. It's just like how the new cheat works. But I did want to kind of point that out because I was like, oh, that's a bit unfair, I guess. I don't know. So next up, we're going to talk about the worlds because we got 2 of them in this pack. That's so exciting. Anyways, so I'll start off with Glimmer Brook. I really like that we have a mountainy town now. It adds for some good storytelling. They've done a really good vibe, I think, of making it a really small country town. It's beautiful. No real complaints apart from, here we go. I'm like, no complaints, but I would have liked to see a couple more lots. The main reason for this, at minimum, I would like 1 more lot here because the large lot, which is where we lived in this series, was occupied and we had to kick out a family to live here. And there was 2, I think, 30 by 20 lots that were unoccupied. And I think that's really, you know, like, I would have preferred a bigger lot to build on as well, and so you could kind of do that, not just for like Sims living there, but like if you wanted to put a park in, like obviously there should be a park of some kind. Like, this is a huge, like, naturally place. Like, a park would fit in perfectly. So I would have liked to see one more, preferably 2 more lots in this world. That's how I would opinion. That's how I would opinion. I'm so bad at words today. That's my opinion on that. I think we needed more lots. So, talking about more lots, the magic realm, we'll get to that. It's stunning, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's amazing. Like, it's so good, but you can't live there. That's my number one complaint. Why can't I live here? I would love to live here. I think it would have been so cool if they had made an island that had, or maybe 2 more islands, like one that had like 3 lots, one that had 2 lots, and they had like a kind of suburban area island and a rich sim magic island, and so that you could have like some sims live there and stuff. I would have really liked that. I also would have liked, even if they weren't just there, like you could have put community lots there. It would have been really cool having like a magical restaurant, a magical like store that you could run yourself, a magical, I don't know, just more. I wanted more of the magic realm. So, but it is a game pack, but I don't know, I wanted more. I would have preferred a smaller Glimmer Brook and a larger magic world, but then I know when they've used supernatural worlds before, like 6am, people don't really spend much time there. They don't go there just because, you know, it's kind of hard to get to, and so they're like, oh, well, we don't want to develop this cool place and not have people live there. So I kind of get that, but it's like, I don't know. I just kind of wish that was cool. And my only other little tiny complaint with the Realm of Magic is that cool greenhouse on that one island. I wish we could go inside it, and I also wish that it was like a functional greenhouse. I think that would have been really cool. And I also wish that, because you can buy that item in debug mode, I wish that you could also like buy a repaired version of that where it's not all crumbling and have that in your house as like a proper greenhouse, but you can't. It's just like a decoration, which is kind of sad, but like, I don't know, it's pretty, but I just wish it was functional. So those are my opinions on the worlds. Overall, pretty happy with them, but I would have liked a couple more lots and to actually be able to live in the Realm of Magic. So on to gameplay. So the way I've laid out the gameplay is I've got a bunch of random kind of things I wanted to mention, and then I've grouped stuff into perks. So the spellcaster perks, the spells, the potions, and familiars, and then I give my final like, would I buy it or not? And so let's start with the random stuff. So the only real interaction that spellcasters get between each other was dueling, and I thought I should put that in there because like they can, if they take a perk, they can kind of be like, oh, don't overcharge, it's bad. But there's no real like, I don't know, spellcaster interactions. I just thought I'd mention that. I mean, I don't know, I guess that's kind of interesting, but that's kind of all there is. The duel is a pretty cool animation. It gives me super Harry Potter vibes, like, you know, when Harry battles Voldemort and stuff, like, it just gives me real Harry Potter vibes, which I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. I love Harry Potter and I love The Sims, but I don't know, I just feel like they could have come up with something a little bit more original than the most epic battle. I don't know. I think in the book, though, the battle between Dumbledore and Voldemort in book 4, where they break into the thing. Look, I'm not even going to that. I think that was a cooler battle. But anyways, you know, we're serious. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. Although, I mean, if you haven't read or seen the Harry Potter movies by now, 1, what are you doing with your life? But 2, like, I think spoilers are fair game. But yeah, so wands and brooms. I also put this in the random section because, like, they're kind of random. I also considered putting them up in the world section because they've got the shops in the Realm of Magic. I don't know. So I figured I should put this here. This is like my, I needed to talk about it, but it doesn't fit in a spot. So wands and brooms are cool. I think it's kind of fun that they can either have a wand or no wand. I like that. And I also like that brooms are just like a thing. I like the selection of brooms. They've got a good selection of them. They've got like the wooden one, they've got a traditional one, they've got a gnarly one, they've got a mop, they've got a rocket, and they've got a crystal broom. But I can never Never, never, never. I've checked like probably 40, 50 different shops between on camera and off camera, and I have never seen a crystal broom in the shop. I don't know if you're meant to be able to craft it or what you're meant to be do, but I cannot for the life of me find it. Maybe you're meant to have your familiar find it, but then, you know, if you don't have cats and dogs, you can't get it. So I really don't know. So I was never able to find it. I had to use debug mode to spawn it in. I don't understand why it'd be on the shop. Like, it's outside the shop as like an item you can get, but they never sell it. So I don't know if that's a bug or what it is, but it's kind of like, ugh. Overall, the wands, I was happy with the wands too. They had a good selection that kind of covered any type of wand using you would want. Like, they had the old ones, they had the naturally ones, they had like bone ones, they had marble ones, I think they had a magician one, they had the cute one with the star on it, they had just a basic plain one. So I liked the selection. They kind of covered all bases, so pretty happy with that. My last kind of random thing before we get started on the perks and other stuff that isn't just random gobbledygook is I wanted to point out the sages. So they kind of did something weird with the sages. So in the trailer, they showed some really cool looking sages. Morgan was one of them, which is fine. I like Morgan. But they also had two others that looked really cool. But then when we got the game, we had Simeon, however you want to pronounce his name, and Elle, who, they don't look as cool. They as far as Sim goes, they're not the most attractive Sims. And the ones they had in the trailer looked really cool. And they've since shared the ones that they had in the trailer on the gallery. But yeah, and I don't know how it works, because like Morgan was in the trailer, but he wasn't a sage. Maybe he is a sage, so maybe it's like generation 2 sages. I don't know, but I really like Morgan, and I don't want them to get rid of him as a sage. But I'm sorry, I don't want them to get rid of them as a sage. I'm sorry, Morgan is gender fluid, which is pretty cool. I think that's awesome that EA has included something like that. Also wanted to point that out. Didn't have it in my notes, but did want to point it out. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weird how they did it. They have since uploaded the trailer sages to the gallery, but I just thought it was kind of weird, and I wanted to talk about it. So weird, right? I know. Let's talk about perks now. So spellcaster perks were pretty cool. They had some nice ones in there, but I just kind of wanted to say that they didn't really make my spellcasters feel any different. Like in vampires, depending on what perks and weaknesses you got, your vampires felt very different, like with how you played them. With the spellcaster perks, there's not so much. Maybe it's because there's no weaknesses. I don't know. But it was just kind of weird. They kind of all felt the same. I kind of wish maybe you couldn't learn all the spells, or you couldn't do all this, and so your spellcasters would actually feel a bit different, but they all just feel kind of the same to me now. And it's not a bad thing, but it's just kind of like they feel really similar, so you can't really have too much like of a, I don't know, unless you're storytelling, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. They just have the similar kind of flavor, and I don't know. But they had some cool packs. I don't know. On to spells. Wow. So I'm going to talk about spells and potions separately, because I want to talk about each kind of type of magic we got, because we got practical, mischief, and untamed magic. And I wanted to talk a little bit about each one in detail. So in total, you get 24 spells and 15 potions. We'll talk about that later. So in practical magic, you get 9 spells, which are Repario, Scrubberoo, Delicioso, Floral 1, it heals your plants, Transpolate, Copy Pasto, Herbio, Home Wardeal, and the Rite of Ascension. So I really like the practical spells. They are practical, useful. They're really good. Like, Delicioso is so awesome. Like, you can summon food anywhere. It's like having a portable grill. You don't have to pay for food. It saves time. You don't have to cook. The Repair, also amazing. Very cool. So the one I can't pronounce is the one I'd like to see changed if I had a negative here. The Floralaro one. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it like that. It's a blah. Anyways, that's the one. So it only fixes up one plant at a time. So it'll like fix all the bugs and water and, you know, weed one plant at a time. And I think that's okay if you've got them on the ground or in little pots. But with the gardening change that came out a little bit before seasons, if your sim has a high enough gardening skill and they water a plant that's in the planter that's got 4 plants in it, it waters all of the plants in that planter. And so I think they should do a similar thing with the magic and that spell. So maybe after level 3 or level 4, I don't know. I think you unlock that one fairly late. I don't really know. But I wish that it would do all of them at once instead of you having to cast it on each 4 plant in the planter. I think that would make sense, but maybe they'll change it in the future. But that was like my one kind of downside with the practical magic. That was my only spell I wasn't really happy with. So Mischief Magic. You get 7 mischief spells, which are Desperio, Deriliate, Furio, Infatuate, Burglarate, Morphate, and Strangerify. These are really fun spells. I liked them all. They're kind of funny. Like, you know, you can make Sims really sad. You can make Sims angry at other Sims and like it makes them fight. You can make Sims fall in love. You can steal stuff. You can turn people into inanimate objects. You can make their face really ugly. It's just kind of funny. It's good for like pranksters and stuff. I had a lot of fun playing with them. I thought it was kind of cool. So now on to the Untamed Magic. Woohoo! You get 8 spells here. And these spells are Inferniate, Zip, Zap, Necrocore, Chili. Is that all it's really called? Is it just called Chili? Whatever. It's the cold one. Minionize, Dead Defy, Decursify, Duplication. I think it's Duplicato. Yeah. So they're pretty cool spells, although I did think that Decursify and Duplicato would probably sit better in the practical spells, but I figure they can't really have like 11 in one and, you know, 6 in the other. So that's probably why they broke them up like that, but that was just my like, I would have grouped them a little bit different yeah, I don't know. And my actual complaint here is that you can't actually kill Sims with these spells. I wish you could set a Sim on fire and they would die. Or you could set a Sim, you know, freeze a Sim and they would die. It kind of bothers me that I can't kill Sims with magic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point in being an all-powerful witch if you can't kill some Sims? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I guess you can't with vampires, and I guess that probably affects their ratings. And I know there's mods for it, but like, come on. I just set them on fire. Please kill them. That's my complaint. Okay. On to potions. Like I said earlier, you get 15 of them. So the potions are Good Fortune, Plentiful Needs, Nausea, Nimble Mind, Magic Aurora, Alluring Aurora, Emotional Stability, Perk Purging, Forced Friendship, Masterful Insult, Rejuvenation, Curse Cleansing, Immortality, Transcendent Charmer, and Resurrection. And they all do really cool things. I don't know. They've got fairly obvious names, although the only one I found that wasn't a really obvious name was, which one was it? Nimble Mind. That didn't make sense to me, but it makes them learn faster. I don't know. I thought they were kind of cool, and they all do kind of things. They all do things. That's a good description of a potion. They do things. Thank you, Nooblet. You have just enlightened everyone here. You're welcome. You've been enlightened. I'm so sorry, guys. But yeah, they all do really cool things. Similar stuff that you can do with the magic, but with less things you've got to learn. So that's kind of cool. But you do need to get the ingredients and craft them. So my complaint with potions is that they require crystals and my sim dolls. I think that's kind of cool in practice, and I'm fine with the very high level ones taking crystals and you know, my sim dolls, but I don't like that some of the lower level ones do. I wish they were all plants or fish, because it's kind of like, I don't know, it's plants, you are very much renewable. You get one, you plant it, you grow it yourself, that's fine. You can have a little greenhouse, it's cute. Fish, I mean, once you know where to fish up the things, it's not too bad to go gather your ingredients and stuff like that. But the crystals and the My Sim dolls are very hard, and not hard, but it's quite difficult to just go collect them. So I don't know, I just kind of like, it's kind of ugh. And I know you can buy them from the potion ingredient store in the magical realm, but it's, again, random what you get. You have no, like, you could go every day in the week and not get what you want. So if you were to kind of do potions, it'd be kind of like, I don't know, I think it would be better if you could just have fish and, like, plants. I think that would make more sense, because, like, I don't know, no one's going to throw their crystal into a cauldron. Why would you destroy a good crystal? I've got lots of crystals, and it'd be one thing to sit it in there, but you'd be fishing it out. You wouldn't be burning it up, killing it into a thing. I don't know. So that was my complaint. I guess if you wanted to do this, you know, you could always like build like an actual store, like a retail store, if you get to work and have all the crystals and My Sim dolls for sale. But then you're still spending money to make your potions. So if you're trying to sell your potions as a money making way, like, that's not going to really work out. So I just kind of was a little bit disappointed with that. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the potions. They do some fun stuff. So one more little topic before we get to my overall final thoughts. So, familiars. This is the one thing in the pack I was disappointed with. I didn't like that we couldn't talk to them. Now, I know we can talk and interact to the familiars if you have cats and dogs. And you can also send the familiars in cats and dogs out to go and gather stuff. But you can't with the ones from Realm of Magic. I think the ones from Realm of Magic you should be able to talk to them. They should have some, like, set jokes or something, set sayings. They could all be the same. I don't know, but they need to have something to say personally. And I also think that they should be able to go out and gather some stuff for you. I just think it's unfair that you'd have to buy cats and dogs if you wanted a familiar that you can interact with. I don't know, that kind of left me with a bad taste in my mouth. I didn't really like that, so I thought that was a bit unfair. I imagine most people do have cats and dogs because it's one of the most popular packs. It really adds a lot of features to the game, but I don't know, it just kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I don't think they should, I don't know. But I guess they could have added it so they couldn't do stuff, so that would have been upsetting too. But I just wish that the familiars that they gave us were a little bit more interactive. That's my main complaint here. But they do all look very cool. I don't know if that's any consolation. They do look cool, and I do want to point out that I absolutely love the glow frog. He is so cute, and he's like got such a silly face, and I love him so much. He's my favorite. I think that they're cool. I just wish that we had more interaction and options with them. So now I have rambled on long enough, and we have come to the end. I have pointed out each part of the pack and what I liked and disliked of the pack, and I think I've covered it fairly thoroughly. So we are up to my last dot point section, which is my overall final thoughts. Would I recommend buying this pack? Yes, I would. At the end of the day, I would recommend buying it, but remembering my little rant at the start, if you are going to buy it, take it with a grain of salt and maybe try coming up with a story and following that story. Trying to use the pagan wheel of the year holidays, if you've got seasons, do something a little bit different. Like, try to, I don't know, set up a backstory. Remember when you were little and you were playing with dolls and you come up with all these fun stories? That's what you're doing now, except now you're just like throwing your dolls around and going, I'm bored, this is dumb. But like, try to have a bit of imagination. That's my kind of thing. If you're going to buy this pack, if you Don't think you can. Maybe wait for it to be on sale, but I would recommend it. I think it's a very good pack. There wasn't many issues, you know, apart from the one without the familiars not having many interactions. That was my highlighting issue, but none of the other stuff that I mentioned I felt was game breaking, but that's why I'm still recommending. I don't know. Still recommending it, but just try to play it as a sandbox game because that's what the it's the Sims box. That's what the Sims 4 is. It's a simulation sandbox game for you to create your own stories. EA is just giving us the tools to create different stories. You need to remember that. So yeah. Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling here. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you still being here at this review. And I also really appreciate you sticking through the series. I'm so excited to continue on with our next generation. Because if you didn't know, I mean, if you're new here, hello. I'm sorry I'm welcoming you at the end, but if you're new here, what I do is each kind of game pack and expansion pack, we kind of progress through a legacy. And so we'll be playing with Poppy and Oak in Discover University, who are the Sims we played with in Realm of Magic. They were teenagers in Realm of Magic. They're going to be young adults in Discover University. It's going to be a good time. So please consider subscribing if you want to see where their story goes. And we'll be starting university videos pretty much the day it comes out. I'm going to be getting up bright and early to record. I'm planning to hopefully have a CreateASim, a dorm build, and a gameplay episode up the first day, and then videos every second day for university. And there's also other series on the channel that you can check out too. But anyways, thank you so much. I hope you stick around to see what we've got planned for Discover University, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.